Hi, my name's Connor. I'd like to make this video about spiritual evolution happening on the planet. Yes, I am evolving spiritually, but also a lot of people there at the moment. The world is trying to wake up to the fact that what is happening is wrong. Society is wrong. It is killing people. It is torture. It's using terrorism in a form that's trying to delete our empathy, our feelings towards others. And we've been programmed since day one in school to be egotistical, in the sense that you as an individual are taught to climb the ladder of success, to get to the very top, but to not look down at the people at the bottom of the pyramid, because those people are, it's their own fortunate energy that put them in that place. That's what religion tells us. Well, that is not true. Firstly, I was born without religion. My mum didn't want to teach me religion because she knew it wasn't right. So I wasn't baptized. I spent my childhood being bullied by people that were religious because I was known as a bastard child. In fact, I even got told in primary school that I was going to burn in hell because I wasn't religious. But that's I'm not trying to point the finger of blame at anyone. That is the programming that society has done to our country. It's not anyone's fault. It's like a disease that our planet has got. It's literally like what all this bad stuff that's happening is like the cancer that's infected our planet. And if we don't act now, then what is the next generation going to be like? I mean, I'm still young. I'm only 24. But I'm still in the generation of people that can actually make a difference. Yeah, I don't see many people doing anything about it. And I can't help but know the truth. I'm not just going to undo the truth right in front of myself. You know? I've been on a spiritual journey for the last couple of years because I've been through loads in my life. Loads of negative and loads of positive too. Which allowed me to work out who I truly am, to work out what life is about. You know? I think that we have come to the point now in our existence here on Earth that if we don't do something about it now, right now, then there is no hope. We, the people, have the power to change. Change is like the essence of life. Energy cannot be destroyed, it can only convert itself from one thing to the next. So why don't we convert this negative energy into a positive energy and actually try to make a difference? You know? I'm not pointing the finger at you directly. You have to change who you are. Well, you don't have to change exactly who you are. You just have to change the way that you think, the way that you perceive this reality. Because a lot of this reality that's been programmed through society is false. They've put this false illusion of what life should be right in front of us, but it's not true. I mean, I grew up in Ireland, and when I was a teenager, it was just the trend. Everyone used to wear sports clothes, and everyone just had this attitude. I mean, if you would understand where those clothes come from, like a sweatshop over in Indonesia or some poor country, if you seen how soul destroying society is to countries across the world, you'd probably feel different straight away. But we've been programmed in school throughout the whole of our lives to just ignore that fact that that stuff is happening. Well, I'm sorry, but I cannot just ignore this. Like, I cannot. This is my life. And they're trying to change me as a person by manipulating things in front of me. Well, guess what? You cannot phase me. I'm already awake. My eyes are open. I can see the truth. I wish that everyone could awaken to this, especially the adults. The adults that are the ones in control of the steering wheel at the moment, the ones that have made our lives like this. I wish that those adults could just listen, stop making an argument out of stuff, and just listen to the truth of what's happening. Because if you don't, you know what's going to happen. There is no hope for the next generation of people if we cannot change now. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom about this. In fact, I'm trying to be as positive as I can about it, because I know that human beings are infinitely powerful. We are extremely intelligent, complex creatures, and we already know the solution. We know how to fix this. We do. We know how to fix this. The problem at the moment is society, our government. Our government was formed back thousands of years ago when the Romans decided to take power over the world, when they decided to make themselves the emperors of the world. They created money, they created all these systems that are around us. Systems that try to profit on you as a being. I mean, when I was born, who was the person that gave the go ahead to create my birth certificate? I mean, that means that I am owned, that someone owns me. I'm like a share bond. I mean, the only reason they created that birth certificate for me is because they wanted to estimate how much tax I could pay in my lifetime. Do you know? That's like being a slave. When you consider yourself to be a person, whether you work or whether you're a part of the system, if you're a person, that means that you're a slave. It means that you're owned. You're put in place by the system. And all that's stopping you from being in a cage is realizing who you are. If you realize that I am this, a man born from the creator, not a person, not a fictitious two-dimensional person that's written down on paper that the government created. They didn't create me. My parents created me through love, not the government. So this illusion that's happening right now, that everyone is a person of the state, means that when you consider yourself to be a person, a part of the corporation, you're justifiably letting them do wrong to the planet. When you're a part of, when you've got a job and you work for a corporation, that corporation is a fictitious entity. It's like a fake person that doesn't even exist. And when they go into another country and tear that country apart, does that fictitious entity get blamed? No, they don't. Why? Because they don't even exist. It's fake. You are just your name on your passport, on your birth certificate. You are an eternal being that comes from the universe. How is it that the government have managed to put a tap on the universe and turn it into making money? Well, that's only a small part of the problem in society at the moment. The biggest problem is the lack of empathy. We've been programmed to look past people that are lower than us, even just putting that scale of people that are higher or lower than us is what's wrong with the planet. I mean, we are all humans. We are all the same. We're all made from the same energy. How is it that we can categorize people into different sections by the level of money that they have? I mean, you can't eat money. You can, yes, you can buy food with it, but you can't eat it. And nor does it create happiness. You create happiness. You're in control of the steering wheel here. And that's why I'm talking about this. I'm trying to help people realize that you control your life. You control this happiness. And if you realize to yourself that you are a spiritual being and not just a person, then you can make changes in your life. And those changes will make you. That is the essence of life, is changing. Just like the saying, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results is the definition of insanity. Well, look at the world we live in. Look, Donald Trump just got voted as president of America. And there's all this uproar about him all over social media. That's just distracting you from really what is actually going on. Like, they don't have power over anything. It's the it's, it's the people behind him that control everything. It's literally an illusion. And if every man and woman across the planet realized that we are men and women, a part of the eternal soul, and we're not a fictitious two-dimensional person written down on paper. If we could realize this all over the world, then we can make a difference. Because as soon as you realize that you're a man and not a person, you're not complying to their system. It no longer applies to you. Meaning, they can no longer make you feel bad. They can no longer use terrorism against you. They can no longer trespass on your property because you know who you are through understanding. And this is only a small aspect of spiritual evolution. Being spiritual is understanding who you are and where you come from and what love is. But the problem with society is that we've been wired to use purely our logic. That's only one side of our brain. Our logic doesn't see the full picture. It doesn't. You need emotions as well. Emotions and logic give the full picture. How can you know what the answer to something is if you don't truly feel the answer first? Using that intuition that you have inside you, that your soul is made of. Don't follow your brain. Follow your intuition. Follow your soul. Listen to the inside you, not the external you. The external you is just an ego. It's an illusion that you've created yourself. You think to yourself, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be great, I want people to realize that I'm this. That's just your ego. That's not relevant to your life. Yes, it might allow you to manipulate society in order to succeed, but it doesn't it's not you, the real you, the inside you, the you that was born here on this earth. And everything that you've associated yourself to be in society is what they've programmed you to be. They told you what to think. They told you what to be since day one. And I can't help but I was brought up as a New Age traveller. My parents used to travel. My parents used to, be open-minded, and they were free spirits. They used to travel around the world, and they were just very open-minded people. So I grew up. I lost my dad when I was 5. It was tough because I had to become the male of the house. I had to become the alpha male. And because of that, it made me have a very large ego throughout most of my life. Like, throughout most of my teenage years, I was quite, I was mischievous. I was quite the bad boy because I had this massive ego that had to make up for the fact that there was no male figure around me. And now that I'm older, I can see this clearly. Like, now that I'm starting to awaken to all this, I can see that I had a massive ego that was basically contributing to society. Society was telling me that it's okay to act like this. And I was complying. I was saying, yeah, okay, I'm going to do that, what you're telling me to do. And where did it get me? It made me feel so depressed that at one point I actually wanted to kill myself. But look, I've turned it round through understanding, through taking in information that allowed me to see it in a different light. And you know what? We all have the power to change. Yes, you have the power to understand this boundary that's in front of the human race. And it's like the US border going into Mexico. They're trying to stop you from your true path, which is understanding who you are and what your purpose is. Most people think that their purpose is to just go on, to have kids, to make money, to survive. But that's not the true sole purpose of why you exist. I mean, I honestly feel like my purpose here in life is to try and help people realize who they are. I mean, I'm half English and half Scottish and born in Ireland, and it's a random mix. But because I'm half English, I have a good way of being able to speak clearly. And for some reason, that is very helpful for people that need someone to talk to. I'm able to talk to them, I'm able to listen properly. And that's why I've only realized this in the last couple of years, and that's what I'm going to do with my life now, is help people through talking, attaching a slight bit of psychology onto the side of it, but mainly talking about my own life experiences in a way that I try and help you realize that this is how it is. I'm not trying to make you believe my words 100%. I'm trying to open up the door that's in front of yourself. I mean, we are spiritual beings, infinite beings. Yes, we actually have lived lives before this, and we will live lives after this. This is just one step in an eternal stairs.